Hello, everyone. Global warming. Uh, I Let's start with just a few headlines from last week. Andrew Griffin for the Guardian. Great Barrier Reef. Half of natural wonder is dead or dying, and it is on the brink of extinction. Scientists say. Happy days. Scientists say, mind you, not priests or magicians. Scientists. Brink of extinction. I wonder where they've placed Finding Dory. Pacific bluefin tuna population has dropped 97% from historic levels. This is Elaine Kurtenbach reporting for Time magazine. Just the headline. And it is continuously drop, destroyed, whatever. It's 96, 97, 98. I have absolutely no idea where the majority of the world's population understands how much 97 is out of 100. But truly, the as far as ecologics go, the world news are just dreadful. Anyway, congratulations to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, I think. She turned 90, and gave me a new idea about because simply because this birthday was coming, I suddenly got the idea because I've been wondering why clever Britons immigrate. Why they leave the country and why you should ever leave Europe for anywhere else. But of course, I've always understood that Europe is probably not. It's probably not as good everywhere as it is where I'm sitting. But I've always wondered why, for example, somebody like John Oliver, for example. I mean, every week he tells the United people of the United States how effed up that country is, and yet he's immigrated there. And it's could it be this? I mean, I have I have no touch with monarchy or aristocracy or anything, but if you are like I would hope that I would be if I were in a monarchist country, if you are for equality, that sort of a built-in inequality, it must really grind your girdle, and it may be the reason why intelligent people just leave. That might be the reason. I don't know. Anyway, all I can say about 90 is that I love it. I mean, Fidel Castro was out. In whatever you call it. Is it National Congress? What do you call it? Is it Cuban Politburo? But, Fidel Castro was out, and I'm pretty sure he had a hairpiece. A beautiful, wonderful hairpiece. Like my dear idol, Sir Christopher Lee, may he forever be hallowed. He looked beautiful, although he's saying that he's on his last leg. I'm sorry, but I love old people. 90. I mean, it's the so far the one of the three main points of living is to try and stay alive for as long as possible. And both Elizabeth II and Fidel Castro have been doing really well. Congrats, wonderful. But now to my main rant, which I wanted for a long time. I wanted to do a rant on Ukraine, but I'm probably going to do a rant on ignorance instead. Alright, the first thing, I wanted to do a rant on Ukraine because again you got one of these, I can't remember which magazine it was, from which country, whatever, you get this reporting where your journalist says, Europe's forgotten war. Bug off. I think about, for example, Ukraine hardly every day. But I mean, what the heck can I do about it? but I certainly haven't forgotten it. And hopefully most people haven't, all these crises that are going, we're not forgetting, then there's nothing we can do. It annoys me. So anyway, I want to do a rant on Ukraine because because with that crisis, I feel whatever it is, crisis, disaster, war, however you want to call it, I have a feeling like it's not going away very soon. That next year you're going to have a journalist writing, Europe's forgotten war, whatever. But when I thought about it more and more and more, I found out that I don't know. I don't know enough. I can't do a rant on Ukraine because I don't know. I don't know about anything. And it's probably because I am not being told. You get the idea. One automatically goes back to the greatest TV series of all time, Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, where it's most likely I'm pretty sure it's the great Sir Humphrey Appleby who says that all that the ordinary voters and their elected representatives are interested in is who are the goodies and who are the baddies. And again, Ukraine seems to be much about that. As far as what an ordinary person is told, what the media says. It seems to be about that, pretty much. Again, I remember it's so long when I saw the interview where Professor Noam Chomsky said that the Taliban made almost an immediate offer after 9/11 to give up, to extradite Osama bin Laden if some proof that he was involved was offered. And again, it seems that the United States actually didn't have any proof for a very long time, which is unbelievable as well. But anyway, nobody told me at the time. I knew that attacking Afghanistan was certainly wrong, and attacking Iraq was beyond wrong. The very first time it was wrong. But I had no idea. I mean, why weren't the world press saying Taliban offers to extradite bin Laden? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. I am not told. Again. So what? And it's again. I mean, how can Noam Chomsky? How can he just say these things? I mean, that's awful. Well, anyway. Ukraine. I mean, you got the feeling from the, from the media that it is Russia doing wrong and denying everything, and others trying to prove that they're doing it, and Crimea, Now I knew that things were not okay in Russia, and that is obvious from the humanist point of view. But again, things are not all right in the United States. They're not all right in China. They're not all right in India. They're not all right anywhere. So I mean that doesn't yet say much. I personally would have boycotted the Sochi Olympics. But I probably would have boycotted any US Olympics as well. So really doesn't count. As far as one can tell, yes, the Putin government they cheated public funds for themselves, made themselves very rich. They haven't done anything to correct Russian problem of infrastructure, which has always been there and always a problem, and to cover up their failures. They've fanned this national fervor, which makes all this military operation possible, which is exactly what all the big countries have always done. Okay, nothing too surprising. It's wrong and it's unfortunate, but it's what everybody does. And it isn't the fault of the Russian people at all. They are completely led, right? And everybody is. I mean, in the United States, they're not voting for the only candidate that they should, if they think, they should, everybody, even the conservatives, should vote for Bernie Sanders. for their own sake and the sake of the world. They're not. They're completely led by corporate media, totally misinformed, given their very, very, very silly worries and opinions fed to them by corporate media. Now, in China or Russia, it may be, nationalist media, national media of the government, but it's the same thing. I mean, in the United States, it's a total oligarchy. The media, the giant corporations are the government in the United States, so to speak. So again, there's nothing about Russia, and certainly the Russian people, that is not true of every other country and any major country in the world. And the ordinary people do not do wrong or vote wrongly. They're not given, again, we're not given the information. Most of us are totally led. Again, when one tries to find out, it seems like that Ukraine, that it's a complete oligarchy, and again, what is going to change? I mean, the Russian national fervor of protecting Russians everywhere, it hardly is going to go away. Then if again you hear these stories about Ukraine that it's totally corrupt and people are fed up with it, every year after year, and it's like the Soviet Union fell and Ukraine, as well as so many other former states, became an oligarchy. And if I understand correctly, it's again money talks, and it's all far above ordinary people, and democracy is trampled on foot, and so and it, again, when is that going to change? When is the oligarchy going to change so that something else will change? And one would see, one gets the feeling that suddenly it's like it's actually happening on a different level. Let's give Ukraine financial aid to annoy Russia, even though Ukraine's debt is to Russia, and if you give Ukraine money, it's actually going to Russia. And certainly somebody, in the International Money Federation must know this. So it's like you have this whole exchange of money going on somewhere there, and you have Russian money people and Ukrainian money people and international money people, and they just work over there. And then you have this war, which of course is a real thing, and ordinary people are suffering, ordinary people are dying all over the world, but that the elite couldn't really give a toss. And you have this one level where everything is actually happening, and then you have this very, very dangerous, deadly, and horrific hockey match for ordinary people to follow and concentrate their energy on. I don't know. That's the problem. And it's not only that I am ignorant, I would like to be ignorant. I don't understand why all of us should be Professor Noam Chomsky. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous that you cannot not only trust your politicians, but you cannot trust your media one bit. And I mean, today there's court proceedings are started against Antoine Deltour, who is the LuxLeaks leaker. It would seem that the most important information that we, the ordinary people, who should be leading the world, the only information we get nowadays is through leaks, and there isn't a proper system to protect all the leakers who are actually doing the work that the media should be doing. I don't know. Because I don't know.